So good morning and welcome back to this topic on course on entrepreneurship and business model canvas. And we are in the unit 4, which is business license and permits, and we are going to see the topic in that as well. Business license and permits. So what are the various business license and permits which is required for an organization? So business license and permits for Indian companies. So starting a business in India requires a very careful navigation of legal requirements, including obtaining the necessary license and permits. And this presentation will provide a comprehensive guide to help and understand and comply with these regulations. So let us quickly understand all that. Now, introduction, the importance of license and permits. Now, these is very important to understand this upfront. Why license and permits are required. First is legal compliance. Now, operating a business without proper license and permits can lead to penalties, fines, or even business closure and can lead to legal issues. Credibility and trust. Holding the necessary licenses will definitely demonstrate your legitimacy and builds trusts with customers, suppliers, and financial institutions. Smooth business operations. Obtaining licenses and permits streamlines business operations and prevents interruptions caused by legal issues. Types of business license in India, there are three types. One is the basic licenses, the shop and establishment registration, which is mandatory for business employing workers, ensuring compliance with labor laws. GST registration required for business with annual turnover exceeding a specific threshold, enabling them to collect and pay GST. Sector specific license is the second category, FSSAI license, essential for business involved in food processing, manufacturing, storage, transportation, distribution, or sale, ensuring food safety and hygiene. Drug license, mandatory for businesses involved in the manufacture, distribution, or sale of pharmaceutical, ensuring quality and safety. Other licenses, import export code IEC, which is required for businesses engaged in import or export activities, facilitating international trade. Professional tax registration, applicable to professionals such as doctors, lawyers, and chartered accountants, requiring them to pay a tax on their professional income. So registering a company in India, first you need to get the digital signature certificate DSC. You got to obtain a DSC from authorized signatories, ensuring secure electronic transactions. Director identification number DIN, applying for DINs for all proposed company directors, providing them a unique identification number. Name reservation, reserve the desired company name, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, MC, avoid duplication and security, brand identity. Incorporation, file incorporation documents with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, including the Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association, MOE and AOE, outlining the company structure and objectives. And obtaining a permanent account number is very important. What is a PAN? PAN is a 10-character alphanumeric identifier issued by the IT Department of India, Income Tax Department. It is mandatory for various financial transactions, including opening bank accounts, filing income tax returns, and conducting high-value transactions. So applications can be submitted online through the official website of the Income Tax Department or through authorized PAN service providers. Now, applying for goods and service tax registration is also the next step, eligibility check. Determine if your business annual turnover exceeds the GST registration threshold. Consider the nature of the business and the state-specific regulations. Online application, comply with the GST registration application in the GST portal, providing businesses and PAN details. Verification support, submit supporting documents and await verification by the tax. Obtaining industry-specific licenses. Depending on your business industry you are in, you may require specific license to comply with sector-specific regulations. For instance, manufacturing business may need factory licenses, while healthcare providers require medical practice registration. Environmental clearance and permits. Businesses that may impact the environment must establish must obtain environmental clearances. These include obtaining the consent to establish, the operate and handle hazardous substances, ensuring sustainable and responsible operations. So environmental clearance and permits is also a very, very important area. Complying with the labor laws and regulations. Indian companies must adhere to the labor laws related to minimum wages. The minimum wages today is a very, very important area. Government has very clearly fixed the minimum wages. Next is the working hours. The standard working hours in case of 2 shifts or 3 shifts in terms of working on the third shift, in terms of working over the extended hours, the OT benefits, overtime benefits, everything has to be adhered to. And various employees like PF, ESI, everything has to be adhered, health insurance and maternity leave, all has to be ensured. Workplace safety is also a very, very important area today, with a lot of emphasis, especially on the manufacturing sector, and providing fair treatment. There should not be any harassment or equity. There should be a grievance redressal cell, and in case of more number of women employees, there should be a separate redressal cell in terms of airing these complaints which related to the gender, and also in terms of employee well-being. And renewing and maintaining licenses and permits. License and permits, typically they have validity periods, and the renewal is very, very important to ensure compliance. So we have to track the renewal dates and adhere to the prescribed procedures, and avoiding penalties and ensuring uninterrupted business operations. So thank you very much for this session, and look forward to meeting in the next session, and thank you very much.